Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
In an uncontrolled and rampant manner. Without civilizing influences. Wild tribes. A wild primitive state untouched by civilization. He lived in the wild. Without a basis in reason or fact. In a natural state, not tamed or domesticated or cultivated. Wild geese. Fanciful and unrealistic, foolish. A wild and uninhabited area left in its natural condition. It was a wilderness preserved for the hawks and mountaineers. Talking or behaving irrationally. Involving risk or danger. A wild financial scheme. Located in a dismal or remote area, desolate. A godforsaken wilderness crossroads. Of the elements, as if showing violent anger. Intensely enthusiastic about or preoccupied with. Of colors or sounds, intensely vivid or loud. Wild colors. Deviating widely from an intended course. A wild bullet. In a state of extreme emotion. Wild with anger. Marked by extreme lack of restraint or control. Wild talk. In a wild or undomesticated manner. Growing wild. In an uncontrolled and rampant manner. Weeds grew rampantly around here. A member of an uncivilized people. Without civilizing influences. Barbarian invaders. A crude, uncouth, ill-bred person lacking culture or refinement. Without civilizing influences. Barbaric practices. Unrestrained and crudely rich. Barbaric use of color or ornament. A member of an uncivilized people. Without civilizing influences. A savage people. A cruelly rapacious person. Marked by extreme and violent energy. Of persons or their actions, able or disposed to inflict pain or suffering. A savage slap. Criticize harshly or violently. The press savaged the new president. Wild and menacing. Attack brutally and fiercely. Without civilizing influences. Without civilizing influences. Fighting is crude and uncivilized, especially if the weapons are efficient. A wild primitive state untouched by civilization. A wild primitive state untouched by civilization. Without a basis in reason or fact. Baseless gossip. Without a basis in reason or fact. The allegations proved groundless. Not having a job. Idle carpenters. Not in active use. The machinery sat idle during the strike. Without a basis in reason or fact. Idle fears. Be idle. Exist in a changeless situation. Run disconnected or idle. Silly or trivial. Idle pleasure. Lacking a sense of restraint or responsibility. Idle talk. Not yielding a return. Idle funds. Not in action or at work. An idle laborer. The state of an engine or other mechanism that is idling. The car engine was running at idle. Without a basis in reason or fact. Unfounded suspicions. Without a basis in reason or fact. Unwarranted jealousy. Incapable of being justified or explained. Lacking justification or authorization. Unwarranted limitations of personal freedom. In a natural state, not tamed or domesticated or cultivated. Ludicrously odd. Fantastic Halloween costumes. Fanciful and unrealistic, foolish. A fantastic idea of his own importance. Existing in fancy only. Fantastic figures with bulbous heads the circumference of a bushel. Extraordinarily good or great, used especially as intensifiers. A fantastic trip to the Orient. Extravagantly fanciful in design, construction, appearance. Gauda's fantastic architecture. A wild and uninhabited area left in its natural condition. It was a wilderness preserved for the hawks and mountaineers. A bewildering profusion. The duties of citizenship are lost sight of in the wilderness of interests of individuals and groups. A wooded region in northeastern Virginia near Spotsylvania where bloody but inconclusive battles were fought in the American Civil War. Politics, a state of disfavor. He led the Democratic Party back from the wilderness. Talking or behaving irrationally. Involving risk or danger. Skydiving as a hazardous sport. Involving risk or danger. Extremely risky going out in the tide and fog. Not financially safe or secure. Anything that promises to pay too much can't help being risky. Located in a dismal or remote area, desolate. A godforsaken wilderness crossroads. Cause to grow thin or weak. Run off as waste. The water wastes back into the ocean. Spend thoughtlessly. Throw away. He wasted his inheritance on his insincere friends. Become physically weaker. Get rid of someone who may be a threat by killing. Cause extensive destruction or ruin utterly. The enemy lay waste to the countryside after the invasion. Lose vigor, health, or flesh, as through grief. Located in a dismal or remote area, desolate. Waste places. An uninhabited wilderness that is worthless for cultivation. The trackless wastes of the desert. Useless or profitless activity. Using or expending or consuming thoughtlessly or carelessly. If the effort brings no compensating gain, it is a waste. Spend extravagantly. Waste not, want not. Law. Reduction in the value of an estate caused by act or neglect. The trait of wasting resources. A life characterized by thriftlessness and waste. Any materials unused and rejected as worthless or unwanted. They collect the waste once a week. Get rid of. We waste the dirty water by channeling it into the sewer. Use inefficiently or inappropriately. Waste heat. Of the elements, as if showing violent anger. Angry clouds on the horizon. feeling or showing anger. Angry at the weather. Severely inflamed and painful. An angry sore. Marked by extreme and violent energy. A furious battle. Marked by extreme anger. Furious about the accident. Of the elements, as if showing violent anger. Furious winds. Characterized by violent and forceful activity or movement, very intense. A raging battle. Of the elements, as if showing violent anger. The raging sea. Very severe. A raging thirst. Characterized by violent emotions or behavior. Of the elements, as if showing violent anger. Affected with madness or insanity. Foolish. Totally unsound. A crazy scheme. Someone deranged and possibly dangerous. Intensely enthusiastic about or preoccupied with. Crazy about cars and racing. Bizarre or fantastic. Had a crazy dream. Possessed by inordinate excitement. The crowd went crazy. Intensely enthusiastic about or preoccupied with. They are dotty about each other. Informal or slang terms for mentally irregular. Intensely enthusiastic about or preoccupied with. Gaga over the rock group's new album. Mentally or physically infirm with age. Characterized by violence or bloodshed. Marked by extreme intensity of emotions or convictions, inclined to react violently, fervid. Violent passions. Of colors or sounds, intensely vivid or loud. A violent clash of colors. Acting with or marked by or resulting from great force or energy or emotional intensity. A violent attack. Effected by force or injury rather than natural causes. A violent death. Not having a high state of culture and social development.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.